مدد يا صاحب السيف الشاب بن الكبرسي رباني مدد مدد يا سلطان الأولياء مدد مدد يا رجال الله أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Dastur. We are first renewing our shahadat, saying Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Our life is for that shahadat. May our death be for that shahadat. Amen. The prayers, the fasting, zakat and the hajj, everything is to protect that shahadat. If that shahadat, one time an unbeliever who all his life never made one sajda to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, never recognized that there is a creator, never doing anything good, with that one shahadat, he is able to become clean and pure and go straight to paradise. If that shahadat can save that one whose whole life he is filled with the wrong actions and is filled with all the sins, what about the shahadat if it is spoken by a believer? Our whole purpose, our whole aim is to live that shahadat and to apply that shahadat to our lives, inshallah rahman. That is a sunnat, and that is a sunnat of our shaykh. Alhamdulillah, although we just finished the zikr, we're renewing it, because our zikr, we're saying astaghfirullah also for the zikr. We're not saying we just made the zikr, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, Allah opened the way for us to make the zikr, but our zikr, our prayers, our worshipping, we know in these days, in this akhir of the akhir zaman, in these days where this is the second jahiliyyah, in these days where there is no Khalifa, yes, where is our Islam? Where is our ibadat? It is not worth for the divine presence. That is one of the reasons why we're holding on tightly to our shaykh, holding on tightly to the awliya Allah, because they are in divine presence. And as Holy Prophet ﷺ, when he was in divine presence, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying to him, come into my presence even with your shoes. Holy Prophet is saying he was going to take off his sandals, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, take your sandals with you. Take your sandals, the arsh, the kursi, the higher stations. This presence is going to be blessed by the sandals that you are wearing. We're putting that sandal on top of our heads. May we live and we die for that sandal. Amen. That is the meaning. It's not there for decoration, but we're looking, people are making exact copy of the sandal of the Prophet. Very good, we're saying. And they're wearing it on their feet. I don't understand. Maybe I'm very dumb. I don't understand that part. Because if we make copy of the sandal of the Prophet, we're going to hang it high, we're going to look at it, we're going to make a rabita then that time, we're going to take a lesson from it. Blessings is going to come. We're not going to put it on our feet. The whole purpose of the sandals is to put on top of our head, not to put on our feet. But leave those ones, alhamdulillah. But just as those sandals were blessed, blessing, those sandals, they were blessing the arsh, and they're blessing wherever Holy Prophet was stepping on. We hope to be the dust under the sandals of our Shaykh, so that wherever he's going to somewhere high, somewhere holy, divine presence. We are like the dirtiness under his sandals, that inshallah he will take us with him. That is what we are hoping for. We are hoping for that. We're asking for that. We're not asking that our zikr is going to save us, or prayer, or fasting, or whatever that we're saying is our worship. Our worship, inshallah, must be and it should be the love that we have for that guide, for our shaykh, for that awliya Allah. That must be our worship. If we don't have that, we have nothing. If we don't have that, we are broken. So this is the second jahiliyyah that Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying is going to be worse than the first jahiliyyah. And we are living in those times. We're living in those times where there is darkness everywhere. There is sorrow everywhere. There is sorrow and darkness and confusion everywhere. From the individuals to the groups, families to the communities, countries to the nations. Fitna, confusion, darkness, depression, everywhere. Second Jahiliyyah. Do we expect anything else? No. These are not paradise times. These are not happy times. These are not times that we should be happy because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not happy with this ummah. Do we have to be a saint to understand that? If He is not happy with the ummah, we have to do something to make Him happy, isn't it? Isn't the whole point is to make Allah to be happy with us, to make Prophet to be happy with us, to make our Shaykh to be happy with us? We have to do something to make them to feel happy with us. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Holy Prophet is saying, our Shaykh saying, maybe Allah's happiness, maybe Allah's raza, maybe Allah's acceptance is going to come from something that you're looking so down on. Something maybe so small. Maybe you're fasting, you're praying, you are reciting Quran, you're doing so many things, but because you are saving a cat. You remember the story Shaykh Effendi saying? Because you are saving a cat from sickness, you're saving a small cat from death, from pain, from suffering, Allah accept. Because that's what happened to the Walida Sultan of the Ottoman Empire. She passed and she did so many great things. She built so many masjids, jamis. And when she passed, one of the awliya Allah, they had a dream about her where she achieved such high stations. And when the question was asked to her, Ya Sultan, Ya Walida Sultan, was it because you built this huge masjid that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted all your good deeds and raised you to high stations? She says, no, it is not. She said, one day I was traveling, and I was traveling through the streets, and I was traveling in the covered. They were carrying it, and they were little sultans. They were wearing, passing by like a car, let's say a car, okay? But it is covered, and she can see a little bit from the outside. Outside cannot see the inside, because that's how the women, they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be covered. That Shariat is going to come back soon too. Women, they're going to be covered. Women, they're going to be protected. Women, they are going to be not walking out in the streets as they like, opening themselves as they like, speaking as they like, doing whatever things as they like. Yes, I promise you that is going to come back. Because Shaykh Effendi promised, and Mahdi alayhi salam is going to come to establish that. But time is still open for you to run around a little bit. Anyway, Walida Sultan, she was traveling. It was raining that time. And she saw a little cat on the streets. And it was all wet and it was shivering. Küçük kedi. It's shivering. How do you say shiver? Titriyor. Çok titriyor. So she stopped, Walida Sultan. She stopped and she opened the curtain, the parda, and she took the little kedi, küçük kedi, and she put it in her own clothes. And she was drying it. She didn't care the cat was going to make dirtiness. She was caring because that is a creature of Allah. That is the creature. This is what Islam is saying. Islam has given rights to the animals, to the women, to the plants, to the trees, to everything that the West is just discovering today. Oh, we have to give rights to the air, to the water, to the animals. Too late. Too late. You already destroyed everything. It's a game anyway. Islam did that. But Muslim nations, they are being so foolish, they're chasing after Western nations, forgetting that Islam already had that. 1400 years ago it had that. It continued for 1300 years, especially during the time of the Ottomans. We're going to go into that. So that cat, she took it and she nursed it back to life, and it became alive again. And because of that one small action, and this is Walida Sultan who built masjids, she says, stays up all night making tahajjud prayers, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah, because of that one small action, raised his station high. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has hidden his happiness, his acceptance. It is to make the believers to rush and to run forward and to do every goodness that there is out there. Maybe, who knows? Because you are walking and you see a stone in front of you in the road and you're picking it up so that others may not trip on it. Maybe that small action is going to win us to the highest paradises. That small action is not so small. Islam has 73 branches of faith, and the smallest branch of faith, that is that, to remove something harmful in the way, to remove something harmful from the way. That is going to harm others, you remove it. That is one branch of Islam. But who is concentrating on these days on the branches of Islam? They're concentrating only on making fitna. And what is the first one? Oh, Wahhabi shaitans, listen. The first branch, the highest order, is to say La ilaha illallah, to make the zikrullah. So the smallest and the biggest, alhamdulillah. That is why it is important to live in a community, to live in the dargah. Then you're going to be able to do all the branches of faith. So we're living in these times, in these very dark times, in this Akhir Zaman times, which is the responsibility of every Muslim leader, imam and sheikh to be concentrating on, and to warn people of these very bad times, these times that is pulling the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to prepare people, to make them to wake up, to make them to realize what are the mistakes, what are the wrong actions, wrong things that we're doing as individuals, groups, nations, that we are heading, losing the compass, heading towards Jahannam, and to wake the people up and to come back to the right path, the right decision, the right way, the way of Allah and His Prophet. They're concentrating on that, or are they being busy with saying, oh, you're a saint, you're a saint, everyone is a saint, we're all saints, mashallah, so many saints, whole nation saints, some saying everywhere, whole city is a saint. That's why this whole world is so saintly, and this whole world is in such a paradise condition. You have to be a Muslim to understand this. You have to be a saint to understand this world is a toilet, and this world, we have destroyed it. This world, especially since the veiling of the Khilafat, worse has come to this world, that there is no peace anywhere. Yeah, but they're busy with things that does not concern them. This is called the Malayani. Or they have a fear. They have a fear. They cannot open their mouths. No permission for them to open their mouths. That's why they're busy with just making fitna and talking here and there. Yeah. You're looking for something. You're looking for maqam. Run to do the work. There's so many people around you that are thirsty for that knowledge. There's so many people around you that they're in darkness. There's so many people around you that they're waiting for you to say something about the Holy Prophet ﷺ, something about Islam, something about the truth, for you to wake them up, to make them understand what is this thing that is stopping them from achieving the higher stations. What is this ego? What is this shaitan? What is this dunya? What is this hawa? They are not. But they're busy with meetings and conferences and deciding this and deciding that, deciding this, deciding that. As you like, run around a little bit more. Sahibul Zaman is coming very soon. And he's going to come and he's going to open the flag. This flag, he's going to open it. That time, no mercy. Yes, there's not going to be any mercy. Now there is still, you better wake up still. We must wake up, all of us do. Because before Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam is going to come, the Khalifa is going to be coming out, and the Ottomans, they're going to be unveiled. The Khalifa was veiled, coming from the house of Osman. He's going to be unveiled. Understand now that those ones who are going to take bayat to Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam, they first have to take bayat to the Khalifa. There's going to be issues then too, definitely. So, what happened to this world? This world has never seen such darkness before. This world has never seen such confusion before, especially amongst the Muslims. Never before the world has seen so many Muslims in history, over 2 billion Muslims, meaning 2 out of 7 people, they are Muslims. With so much wealth, so much resources, so much oil, so much technology, so much knowledge. And where are we? Humiliated. We have nothing but humiliation. We are under the boots and under the feet of the unbelievers. That the unbelievers, they can say whatever they want to Islam, whatever they want to the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and we are helpless. We cannot do anything. Where are the Muslim leaders to say something? Where were the Muslim leaders to stand up and to strongly condemn what they did to the Holy Prophet ﷺ? Whether it is in the cartoons or in the movies that they are doing, where are they? But we hear them talking a lot, yes, so much when it comes to other things. Good, you should. Other things that concern the whole world, that concerns the whole world and the unbelievers, they're opening their mouths, yeah. You should do that, maybe. But also open your mouth to protect your Prophet. They are afraid of that. Afraid because they can be bought. Their position can be bought. Their mouths and their tongues are tied to the money. May Allah protect us from that. We are following Sahibul Saif. He lived and he passed for the sake of Allah. And he had no fear. He had no fear from individuals or governments. And he went through, yes, every sunnat of every prophet he went through. Some forgot maybe. He went through the sunnat of Hazrat Isa. He told me, how long ago was it? 10 years ago? 11 years ago? When he was arrested in Turkey. Yes. And he said, Subhanallah, when he came back, I remember the conversation I had with him when he was released. He was still in Turkey, and I was speaking to him, and I said, I'm so happy, I wish I could have been there to greet you. He was laughing. And he says, MashaAllah, you are still continuing. Because he was there for 8 months. 8 months. This is just 70 days. He has trained us for that too when he disappears for long periods of time. 3 months, 6 months, 8 months. And he disappeared that time. Abdul Hamid. And we didn't know. We had no contact with him. We didn't know whether he was going to come back or not. We didn't know what was going to happen or not. What did we do? Were we busy with saying, this one should be head, this one should be head, this one should be head? I'm going to accept, I'm not going to accept. We said, do the work. Continue the work. That is important, isn't it? Yes. So we continued the work. And when he was released, he said, MashaAllah to you. So many saints, they came and they passed. And they did not leave even one successor that to carry on their work. And you continued the work. And he's saying, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made us to go through the sunnat of Isa alayhi salam. I said to him, this is through your blessings and your support. We know ourselves, where we come from, what we're capable of doing, what we're not capable of doing. Definitely we're not capable of doing any of this. And it's through his prayers and his support that we're still able to continue. Otherwise it is impossible. So many people, so many egos, so many different nations, yes, like the Ottomans, uniting people together. Uniting under truth, not uniting under falsehood, not uniting under fitna, uniting under the truth and following one. So that is a miracle. We know we cannot do that. It is through Shariah and his himmat that he's holding us and he's training us and he's sending us the himmat, and still we are very afraid of making any mistake. Every night we sit down, we have to calculate every time we're saying Astaghfirullah, forgive us, Ya Shaykh. We failed in these areas. Still he was saying, very good, continue in the way. But now I'm just thinking, here good. He said, he went through the sunnah of Isa alayhi salam. Because Isa alayhi salam had Hawariyun who were with him, correct? That were supposed to protect him, correct? They fell asleep. The head, who is supposed to be the head of the Vatican, the first one, Peter, they call him, rock. Peter meaning rock, that's not his real name. He betrayed Isa alayhi salam. Isa alayhi salam says, you are going to betray me too. He's saying, may Allah not make us to betray our Shaykh. May He take our lives before we do that. Betraying our Shaykh is not just him, it is his words, it is his orders, it is his Shariat, it is his way. Inshallah, we will not. He's giving us good news anyway. He says that we are not going to be, but we are not going to be so happy with that too. We have to be careful to check ourselves. And he said to Peter, he said, you are going to betray me 3 times. 3 times you're going to betray me before the rooster it crows. It is in the Bible. It is open. And yes, it happened. When the Roman soldiers came and said to him, and they put so much pressure on him, he betrayed his master, his Shaykh, his prophet 3 times. Do you know him? He says, I don't know him. Do you know him? I don't know him. Do you know him? I don't know him. 3 times. Hawariyun, his closest ones, or those claiming to be his closest ones. And what he went through, which city was that? He went through, which city, Shaykh? And he went through that. Izmir. Izmir. He went through that. So Shaykh, and he went through that sunnat there. And that Isa alayhi salam, all of his Hawariyun, they turned their backs and they betrayed him. And that is a very sad thing for us to see, for us to understand. May we not betray him, inshallah. Like I said, betraying him is not just saying by word, I love him, I'm going to follow him. It is the way that Allah is saying to Shaitan, you make sajda to me, you make sajda to my words. If I say, make sajda to that tree, make sajda to that rock, make sajda to that one, you're going to do it. You're not going to say no, you make a mistake. I'm only going to make sajda to you, not to this one. So, inshallah, we are not going to betray our Shaykh. We're not going to betray our Ottoman ancestors. Because we have a big job that is ahead of us. We are the new Ottomans. And the new Ottomans, it is something that we cannot claim. We know that we are so very far away from them. We are no good for nothing. We cannot definitely do anything that they are doing. But our Shaykh Hazrat Lari, he is an Ottoman. And he's coming from Ottoman background. And we're waiting for him to make Fatih of Istanbul again. That he has promised us, and we're waiting to be behind him. But the Ottomans too is not just by word or by claim, which we are not claiming. He is saying this is the Osmanlı Dergah, and this is the center of the Ottomans. Here. He made that years ago in the house. And he's declaring that the Ottoman Empire is open. And I said to him one time, I said, Shaim, now I know why you are in New York. You opened the Ottoman Empire in New York. I was just joking with him. He says, why is that? Because as you know, in America, there are 50 states, right? Or 51 states. And every state, they have a, what do you get? Slogan, a motto, a name, something. Like Pennsylvania is a state. It is, there's a word for it. What is that? The first state? The?
Pennsylvania is the Keystone.
The Keystone State. Keystone Cops? Keystone State. New York, it is the Empire State. So he started laughing. So, anyway, He declared that years ago, and we are very honored and we're very fortunate to be with him, to be included in that. We are not claiming, we know we are not. Most of us, we did not even hear of it, or we did not have importance, because we, like the Turks, we are brainwashed not to think about our Ottoman ancestors, not to think about how Islam, that is a 1400 years, 1000 years it is ruled by the Turks, 300 years by the Seljuks that were supporting so many dynasties and empires, and 700 years the Ottomans that were ruling. So Islam 1400 years, 1000 years by the Turks, which Shaykh Effendi is saying we are all having that lineage. That's why we are here. And the world is going to understand that one day. Like you're saying, every rock that you're going to turn, you're going to see, yes, that is where the Ottomans were, that is where the Turks were. But we are holding on to the Ottoman Turks, that is holding on to Allah and His Prophet, ﷺ, not those who are not following Shariatullah. We are following those Turks that is on top of our heads, that is honoring the Ottomans, that were holding high the sanjak of the Prophet, ﷺ, that is holding high the laws and the rules and the Shariat of the Rasulullah, ﷺ, that were uniting people, that were giving people their rights, that were stopping fitna from happening, that they're able to get along, that were controlling so many kingdoms, but they all obey one. And that, alhamdulillah, we're saying shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those are our ancestors. We're not claiming that we are following one who is. Awliya Allah may say whatever that they want, but we know ourselves what we are. And when I met Shaykh Effendi, and when he started telling us more about our heritage and our legacy and our right, how the Ottomans were, and how the West have hidden 700 years of Islamic history from us, that ended not 700 years ago, less than 100 years ago, it awakened a fire in all of us. I'm sure everyone also felt that. It awakened a fire that brought us together. It awakened a fire to understand that yes, that is the empire that continued the Shariat of the Prophet ﷺ, that was left behind after the Khulafai Rashidin. Alhamdulillah, inshallah, with our Shaykh's continued guidance, someday inshallah we will be worthy of that name, that we are Ottomans. But it is enough, like Shaykh Effendi is saying, that we love them and we're following them, what they're standing for, that we're following our Shaykh and what he's standing for, calling for unity, what he's standing for, because now it is not a matter of Ottoman, Turkish, or no, it is not. Just as in the war Armageddon that is happening, is not between Muslims and Christians or Jewish and Buddhists, no, it is between believers and unbelievers. And the Khalifa that will be unveiled will be from the Ottomans. So we are renewing our shahadat, and we are renewing our bayat to the Khalifa, and we're renewing our bayat to our Shaykh and his words and his orders. Inshallah Rahman, may it be accepted, and anyone who is listening, to be together in this way of our Shaykh, not to separate. Not to separate. Hold on tightly to the rope of Allah and do not separate, because we have a huge, big job ahead of us. May our Shaykh be granted higher stations and more openings and powers, and may He grant us more connection to Him to carry His work. And may everything that is wrong, all the bad fitna and all the bad eyes be removed from our association.
Amen.
And for us to get stronger and to reach out to more people for His sake, inshallah. And for Muslims and believers, murids, doesn't matter, wakils, to wake up and to understand that we have to be busy with what concerns us. Wa min Allahu tawfiq. May Allah forgive me and bless all of you for the sake of our Shaykh. Humatil Habib, Humatil Fatiha. Amin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.